95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. "100 years ago, trees being felled today were being planted."
I suppose this all started with Dad. Dad was a lawyer. I remember this old guy coming down from Gloucester. He was a farmer actually. And I remember him coming down. He came down in the evenings and he spent like hours with Dad. And he sort of come down again. And then I remember seeing Dad sitting up till about midnight. And he said, I'm doing his work, this guy's will. I said, what are you going to charge him? And he said, I think we'll probably charge about £75. And I mean, that even then was ridiculous. You know, he'd spent hours with this guy, and here he was at midnight, and he was going to charge him £75. It was like, yeah, no, but he wouldn't be able to afford any more than that. It was very much, it wasn't really about how much he made out of something, it was all about what was fair, really. I'd say he was somebody who was driven by principle, really. Principle pretty much would have governed the way he would have thought, and then the effect of that on his life or whatever would have been second. So if it was the right thing to do, he would do it, and then he'd sort of take the consequences of having done it afterwards. But he wasn't altogether comfortable. He was a very good advocate. He was an advocate. He always liked to. He was a better advocate than he was a prosecutor. But there were times when he was conflicted, when people he was wanting to help, but it was obvious that they were guilty. And he used to have a bit of a time sometimes persuading them to say, look, it's much better we say you're guilty, and we'll say you're guilty, but we'll try and help you, than trying to say you're not guilty. And so over time, I think that sort of part of his thinking was that it wasn't altogether a comfortable place to be in, to try and get people off the hook. They always say lawyers can argue things both ways, can't they? And as somebody who was quite, he had this sense of justice and right and wrong, that didn't sit very well with him. He'd sort of know what was right and what was wrong, and it was difficult to argue. He was happy to try and mitigate, but rather than exonerate, if you like. But Dad was very keen on wood turning, so we sold lathes by that time, and so he decided it would be a good way to try and generate some income to actually do wood turning courses. He'd been on one himself and been very impressed. So we used to get these people turn up. We used to about do 2 or 3 times a month, and I think he used to charge £15 for a day of wood turning. Yeah, one of the sayings I always remember him saying was, as he was sort of running his gouge, creating a lampstand, I think, for one of them. And it was a very nice piece of elm, and elm is a very beautiful wood. You hardly find it now, but it's very, very textured. And he would say, there's another piece of nature that no one's ever seen before, which I think that's something that stuck with me, actually. And interestingly, whenever I look at our floors, I think about that every single plank. It's a little piece of nature that nobody's ever seen before. This whole thing goes back right to my father's initial love of wood, his artistic, creative talents that when applied to a natural product which he loved, and he could start to see and feel, and he would work with what was there, and you would end up producing something that was of beauty. And that, when you combine that with the understanding of how timber reacted, how you process it, how you how you can manufacture using timber, moving from just bespoke, simple machining processes through to production, through to being able to provide consistent, high-quality products to uncompromising standards. That is, I think that's really where the background all stems from. That really.
Once an oak has been selected, felled, transported, it is rolled into the sawmill to be debarked before sawing into rough sawn planks. Each plank is carefully stacked and separated by oak staves which allow airflow around each plank for even air drying before being moved to the kiln for kiln drying. Every plank is pre-graded and marked up to maximise the yield. The timber is planed to a controlled thickness, and in the case of a hand-worked finish, it is worked by our masters to achieve a beautiful aged look and feel. Every plank is different. Every knot and defect has to be considered, treated, filled, scraped, brushed and finished to bring out the natural beauty using simple hand tools, wood dust and natural materials. This is an art. A true woodpecker signature finish.
Hi, I'm Maria. I'm Venezuelan and I was living in Australia for 7 years when my husband got a job offer in Seattle, Washington in the States. So we decided to pack our bags one more time and come to the US. I wasn't too keen on the Seattle weather, so for me it was very hard, and I said to myself, you know what, like if I don't get the perfect job by March, I'm going to leave. I was going to get back to Australia. And after many interviews and dull conversations, I got the most amazing connection with Woodpecker. Family is in the core value of Latin cultures. So for me, it was very important to feel that sense of belonging. And if you ask me right now what Woodpecker means to me, I feel it is the extended family I didn't know I have.
One of the things that comes to mind when we're talking about family is that no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care about them. It's not a customer and supplier thing, it's our family and your family. And this, I think, goes through every single fibre of our organisation, if you like. Whether it's someone in accounts, whether it's someone packing an order, whether it's someone dealing with a technical complaint, dealing with a customer, installing stands. And there's that level of care and there's that level of passion which goes above and beyond what you would normally find in any other company. You might have a similar product, you might have a similar price, but there's something intangible that makes the difference. And it's the woodpecker spirit and something that's in that core that makes the difference. And through all the years of change and everything that's happened, there's still some key things that haven't changed. We absolutely love what we do and we really care about what we do. Here at Woodpecker, you become part of our family. Whether you're a customer, a partner, we're all one big family, all caring for each other and doing whatever it takes to make the difference.
So there's a real high level of trust at Woodpecker. There's also a real sense of belonging and being part of the family. So we are all part of the Woodpecker family. I take a lot of pleasure in my work and a lot of pride in my work. So developing these connections with our customers is important. So if they do well, we do well. And it's a win-win situation. The company's core values that we all work to and live to is what I value It's all of it across the board, and everyone commits to that. Companies don't do that. We do things differently at Woodpecker, and that's why I love working here. That's why I'm still here, and that's why I'll be here for a long time. You can ask any woodpecker here, and they'll all say the same thing. We will work hard, we will make it happen, and we finish strong. You'll always find a smile here at Woodpecker.
What makes the difference here at Woodpecker is our people. We take it seriously that every woodpecker has service in their heart, lives the values and is loyal to the brand. Holding ourselves to high standards, every woodpecker on their first day signs up to the Code of Conduct. The Code of Conduct determines how we behave, defines the spirit in which others are treated, provides the basis on which decisions are made, interprets the principles we stand by. Without it, we wouldn't be Woodpecker.
Welcome to Woodpecker. Every floor is made from materials that are at least 100 years old. That means trees being felled today started growing in the 1800s. Great care and attention to detail from everyone here at Woodpecker is required to deliver a quality product consistently. From the tree's growing conditions, to being felled and transported, to being cut and kiln dried, being machined and finished and packaged. There is good reason why we guarantee our floors for 100 years. The expertise and the confidence, and furthermore, the deep passion for producing the best. It inspires me to be a great ancestor for generations to come. Every floor is an investment for at least 100 years, an investment in the future. Every floor carries the brand, and that's our promise. Something special that will live on, is burned in forever.